Greetings. When we last left our heroes, they were infiltrating the tower of lightning mage Octavio Orask in search of the rods, which would have the ability to impart the Hand of Lightning rune on Ren, our ice mage. Unfortunately, as they were entering the bedchamber of the wizard, an electrical surge passed through a conduit, a previously unseen conduit in the walls, imparting life on 5 suits of armor. Welcome to episode 24, Animated Armor Antics. Now, we talked about this combat a little bit in the last episode, sort of metagamed it a bit. And you know, I do occasionally run practice combats, primarily because I like it, I enjoy it, but also because I find it interesting to see sort of how the balance plays out. And, you know, sometimes Runebearer can be difficult to balance because there's a lot of variables. And sometimes you don't want to balance it, and sometimes you do, and sometimes you want that balance to be rather tight, and so on. There's a lot of stuff going on. But I do run some of these fights ahead of time on my own just to see sort of how it might play out. And this one was very difficult for the group. And as I talked about last session, I think I toned down the enemies a little bit to make this a little more feasible for the party. Having said that, I still think in an outright fight, if they just one-on-one this and just try to go, or 5-on-4 it and just try to go straight at the enemy, I think they will lose, if not die. So let's see how this plays here. Keeping in mind that we are from fastest to slowest here, we're going to roll 9d12 initiative dice and then assign them. Rorik gets a plus 11, 8 for Martin, 3 for Tiny. She actually has a -1. These guys have a -2, 7, but they're still fast. Wow, they are really fast. That is interesting. I like how I can give them whatever minus I want, but there is a D12 in there, so they are fast comparatively. So it's going to be Rorik first, then this guy. And this guy's going to be the dangerous one because he actually, like if we decided to do a tactical retreat, this is the guy that is going to ultimately stop us from doing that tactical retreat. Yeah, well, and potentially this guy, but this guy sort of first, right? These guys, we have a round or two before they actually get to us because of their slow speed. These things move at 4, and they're automatons. They don't charge or use tactics, really. They're going to just go at us. That does give us an advantage in that it gives us a good round or so. And I think the question really is, do you try to just get through the door? Still open that door. Do you just try to get through the damn door? I think the obvious answer is yes. Like I think a tactical retreat through the door is probably the best sort of strategy here. And it's just, how do you actually get that done? Because this guy is going to immediately cause trouble. And this guy is also going to cause trouble, primarily for Ren and Tiny, who are going at the end of the round. So I think Rorik is going to make a tactics check and save a half phase. So what we're going to do is we'll put a green on him to show that he still has some ways to go. He will make a tactics skill check, and we'll give him a, against a DL. Like, these things are relatively dumb. He doesn't know much about them, but they are automata. They move straight forward and attack. Mind you, their attacks are very dangerous to us. And he's going to go, so he has a 9 skill. He rolls a 5, so that's a 14 total. And let's say the DL is relatively easy. But since he doesn't know anything about these creatures, we'll say it's a DL 10, so 11. So 14 to 11 is going to give him 2 chips. He wins by 3. He gets 2 tactics. But he has a half phase saved, and he's just going to wait this out. Armor 4 is going to move up 1, 2, and he gets an attack. His half move is 2. He gets an attack against Tiny. Tiny. So the problem we have is that we technically don't have a weapon out yet, because they were just walking in. They thought they were going to search this room. And though they're not surprised, they do get an initiative roll, and they get to act in round 1. But I do not have them with their weapons out. I think that's a fair assumption, right? If they're going to search, you can't, you know what I mean? I suppose maybe they should have had their weapons out because they were entering a room for the first time, but once they saw nothing, they put them away, walked in the few steps here as we see the armor animates, and then this is the position we're in. So Tiny is going to, have to dodge this attack because he can't block it. His dodge is only a 7. He could give ground, but that's going to block the door for Martin and Ren. So I think he's just going to take it. I think he's going to take this attack and hope that he's beefy enough to just take it. So it's an attack of 10 versus a DL of 7. -7. Wow. So this guy rolls a 3. So his attack is a 13. We get a 17 dodge. He actually misses the attack. That is amazingly fortunate for us. This guy's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and start making his way down. It's hard to tell which direction they're facing. I would love that, by the way. Roll20 should have an option almost that you could make one of these tokens and then put like a facing marker on it. That would be so cool. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, he gets 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's armor 5. He doesn't move 5. That would have been terrifying, by the way. Martin now gets to go. Rorik is yelling for him to get back out the door. One, two, three. He will continue to face the direction he's facing as he backs out the door. He's going to pull an acid vial. 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy will make a move. And armor 3 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And next round, he's going to make it even harder to escape. So we really need to get our shit together. Ren has a move of 6. 1, 2, 3. If she only goes 3, that is going to be problematic. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a full move and is going to preclude her from doing anything else. So she is done. Tiny is going to take the disengage. Actually, he is going to pull his weapon out. That's a half action. So that's one of his 2 things he can do. He pulls the weapon out to block, and now he's going to disengage. 1, 2, like that. As soon as he moves away, before he can leave this, because he is engaged with the opponent, this one, and has no way to disengage. He has no friend to assist him. Like if Rorik was up here, if Rorik was standing here, Tiny could disengage for free because Rorik can take the attention. If Tiny could move in some way that the thing had a hard time following, like he jumped off a cliff. I don't know why you. That's probably worse than taking the attack, but if you could, and your opponent was not going to follow you, they do not get an opportunity attack. You have to be willing to follow into. You have to be willing to follow where the opponent went or able to. So you can fly straight up. If you could, Tiny can't, and avoid an the disengage attack. For instance, Tiny has to take it, but he is blocking now. Tiny has a skill of 13 in cudgel. His -1 parry, he has a 12. This thing has a 10. He is going to hit Tiny this time. His first attack that missed was the shocking grasp. His next attack, which is going to be like a short sword kind of thing, or a ceremonial sword, it's actually more for show. He's going to do, holy crap, 13 damage to poor Tiny in the 6. I should have made him re-roll. I should have had Tiny make him re-roll that. Unfortunately, we didn't. That is a 2-die wound on poor Tiny. Tiny takes 13. So the first thing is we're going to do 13 to him. That brings him down to 23. The second thing we're going to do is check out what do wounds in the chest do. We got a lot of documents right now. Combat. What does a wound in the chest do? Great combat chart. Well, Chris, a wound in the chest that's a 9 is going to wind and impair Tiny. A 3 is going to knock him prone. I mean, wind and impair is crappier by far for the long-term prospects of Tiny. Prone is sort of interesting because it literally leaves Tiny in there. And, you know, as the GM, I would probably pick not to do that. I would probably pick to, knowing the characters are making a fighting retreat, I would probably allow him to take the winded and impaired. I'm going to say that this GM is not necessarily as kind as me. Let's say on a 1, 2, 3, we take the prone. On a 4 up, we take the winded. We take the winded. So he is winded twice, impair once. He also then gets 2 fatigue. Right there. But he does get to continue his move, and he moves out that way. He's literally coming out, holding his chest, and he has sort of a sucking chest wound kind of thing going on. And we should have made him re-roll because we have frickin' tactics. Like, we have re-rolls. You should generally, in my opinion, in Runebearer, when you have, say, tactics, you should use it because that's absolutely, and more to the point, you should use it when you're going to take damage because taking damage is the thing that typically sucks. So Tiny has a 13-point chest wound. And we're going to mark that down because if that doesn't get healed, he is impaired and winded. So his fatigue number's up too, and so on. Rorik is going to then move on round 2. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. He makes a half move. Well, he's going to actually, no, I'm sorry. He uses his half move. Which puts him here, which puts him at a 2. And that's fine. 1, 2, 3. And then he's going to face the door, but we are going to clear his free half half move. So this is literally the only time. So I said I ran this offline, and I did it a couple times, and I putzed around. It was the only time I could actually escape. Every other time. So, and that wound on Tiny made me think, oh no, here we go again. Because if it would have knocked him prone, then he's stuck in there. And the party either has to abandon him, which I don't love, or try to go fight him out of there. And Rorik could have moved up to him and grabbed him, but that would have been the rest of his action. And then he would have had to have he might have been able to drag him out on this round. So it might have worked out. Nonetheless, here we are. And we're effectively going to turn this into almost a 2-on-2, I think. I think we're going to give 2 hexes to the bad guys and 2 hexes to the good guys. Doesn't matter which 2 hexes. But this guy is going to come up, and we will say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually make this door. Here, hold on. Let's make this door a little wider there. And we'll give sort of these 2 hexes to the enemy and these 2 hexes to me. And so this armor will move up here, facing the doorway, and he will take his next shot at Tiny. Tiny will block it, but he will fail to block it, and we're going to make the damn thing re-roll with a tactics. And now its 10 goes to an 11. Right? Or I should say, he rolls an 8. So his 10 goes to 18. Tiny has a 12 block, so he has a 19. So the thing misses because we used our tactics like we should have in the first place. Armor 2 is going to come down and go 1, 2, 3, 4, but he cannot attack this round. And that is then going to block everything else here a little bit. So yeah, armor 5 is going to sort of, right? He goes, he'll go here, I think. I think that's where he can, and they're just sort of slashing around trying to find some way to get that done, but they can't. Martin will turn. I don't know that it really matters. He will throw his acid. He has an 11 versus that thing's 7 dodge. He will hit it, and it's going to do 2d4 plus 1 for 2 rounds. It does 8 points of damage. That's pretty good. I'm going to rule that it bypasses armor, since it's literally meant to destroy armor. Armor 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Armor 3 claws his way up, and like that. And this does become a bit of a stalemate, but we'll see. I would ultimately, I think I like to close the door if possible and regroup and rethink sort of how we take these on. Ren is going to cast on round 2. She's going to drum roll. So we'll put drum on. On round 3, she's going to release. Tiny is going to smash at the creature here. He has a -1 to hit. He's going to smash at armor 2. He does hit armor 2. The GM is going to make him re-roll because he has a fatigue. So we're going to mark a fatigue off. We're going to make Tiny re-roll that. And he still hits. Tiny does 8 damage. -4 is 4 damage. We can't wound him. Nothing else matters except for damage on this. And still on round 2, Rurik is going to try to finish that guy off. Rurik has let's take a quick look at his skill level. His skill level is 12. -1 is 11. He's attacking a 9 defense. Actually, probably a 7. Yeah, 9 defense since he's blocking. So he will hit. He does 12 damage minus the 4. So he will knock armor 2 out and smash armor 2. And that brings us to round 3. So we do have a couple options. One option would be to use that last tactics to try to win initiative. And if we win initiative, I would close the door. Like, that's what we would do. So you can, at any time, you can spend so at the beginning of a round, I shouldn't say at any time, that is not true. At the beginning of a combat round, one member of your party can spend either a tactics or a inspiration point. And you can force every combatant to reroll initiative. You can only do it once, and it can only be the first person that says it gets it. So, for instance, the GM might have, you can't use a fatigue chit to do it, but the GM can use the boss's inspiration, for instance, or the boss's tactics if the boss has that. Now, none of these are bosses. These are all dummies. So they don't have anything. The group can use its tactics and go, I'm on a roll. But the first person to lay the chip down gets to reroll initiative, and then you must stick with that initiative for 1 round at least. So this is used for things like this, right? Rurik waited till he had to wait and delay his action, delay. And now he's down here. Well, now one of these things is going to jump into that doorway again and block it again. And if that's the case, it's going to become very hard to then get it closed. And we're going to largely have to fight a trickle of these things, which is doable, but tedious and potentially dangerous to someone like Tiny, who's going to get, gang tackled a bit. So I'm actually going to put, so I am going to use this last tactics, and we are going to reroll initiative. And I'm going to reorder us in the order of our initiative bonus. And then that's the order we're going to take the dice in as we do it. So Rurik is a 9 because he has a +2. Martin is an 11. He's a +1. Tiny is a +0. He gets a 12. Ren is going to get a -1. She's a 7. It's that cold, icy blood. Armor 4 gets a 10. 2 gets a 10. This guy gets a... 2 is dead. 5 gets a 10. 1 gets a 12. Holy crap. And armor 3 gets... Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a 10. These are 8s because they're -2s. He's a 10 and he's a 1. So that's at least a little better for us. That didn't work. Something happened there. Because Martin was an 11. Rurik, somehow it didn't take any of mine, so I must have screwed that up. Rurik has a 9. Martin has an 11. Tiny ended up with a 12. And she ended up with a 7. We have... The armors get 8... 8, 10. I mean, and I didn't put them in the same order. That's my fault. And a 1. And now we readjust this. So Tiny is first. And I say Tiny shuts the door. Slam. Door is shut. We'll do a quick track check. Rorik is like listening, and he hears them fade away. The footfalls fade away into the distance as the armors take up their original positions. With armor 2 being the one that does not take up its position because it is dead. Combat ends. Tiny is breathy, right? He's sort of sucking through that chest wound a little bit. Martin gives him a hold on, let me take care of that, right? Kind of thing. He cannot medical him through the wound because that's wound damage. So it's got to be normal damage, which Tiny does not have any normal damage. This is where it would have been better to have the prone because you could have healed through that. But we will give him a healing. So we'll mark that down, the healing down to 1. We did use a acid splash, which we were down to 3. Now we have 2. We have 1 heal. And so we're going to give him a D4 plus 1 healing. And we will give him 4 off of the wound. So that is good because alchemy can come directly off the wound, typically. Tiny now has a 9-point chest wound. Now, we could do physician, but that's going to take an hour. Or we could do superficial treatment. Now, the difference is a die 4. It's literally 1d4 or 2d4. Martin's like, are we safe? And I think they nod. They think the party's like, yeah, I think we're safe. I don't think we can spend an hour in here, though, right? I think, because here's the other thing, too. Remember, there are windows here marked by the little single pock marks that I put. And there's a little bit of like, there's noise. I mean, does someone hear from down there? Like 1d12, let's say maybe a 1 in 3 someone heard, and we'll just keep ticking that up. No one yet heard. But we don't know that. They might have heard downstairs, and I think the party agrees. They might have heard. We cannot really spend an hour while you do surgery. That's what the difference would be. He'd be cutting him open and sewing him up and whatever. So we will do the superficial treatment. And so we will roll physician. And Martin's physician is a 10. That'll take 5 minutes. It's going to use another charge of his med kit, or a charge of his med kit. Let's see what superficial treatment says. Physician, we can do superficial treatment. DL10. Yeah, success returns 1d4 hit points to the patient. So let's do that. We will mark off our 4th medical charge, and he's going to sew him up, probably, is sort of what that feels like. -1 is not the greatest. Our physician is a total of 10 right now. Ugh. I did give him back a 1 inspiration because I've been sort of sloppy with it. I don't know that I would use it here typically. I don't know. But I think I gave Martin 1. Yeah, I gave him 1. And I do need to keep better track. So it's funny. This is a total aside, by the way. And this is why I screw things up. I realized the stuff that I have problems keeping track of in-game, things like fatigue and inspiration, are the same things I don't keep track of when I'm GMing because I'm playing the bad guys who typically do not have inspiration and typically do not take fatigue. So there's some things like that I'm just like, man, it just escapes me every damn time. Whereas my players are on it, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I also do it in chips. I hand them poker chips, fatigue, tactics. Like, I love to give out widgets and have them spend widgets. And so I give them white poker chips for inspiration. They get green for tactics. I have red for fatigue. And I have blue for the enemy getting inspiration / boss plot armor points. So we keep throwing chips at each other, which is sort of fun. That's hard to do here, and so I'm having a hard time keeping track of inspiration. Do we spend it and try to give him the D4 hit points back? We do, because I'm sorry, it's our damn reputation. So we're just going to add one to the roll, and that's going to succeed, and we give him a D4 hit points back, because this is our reputation as a physician on the line, goddammit. 1 hit point. You know what? I deserve that. I totally deserve that. I hate healing in this game and love it. I love it. I think it's... So this is Tiny. Tiny has an 8-point chest wound. But he is still going to be winded too. And I do believe... So his fatigue number now is 3. So his fatigue is 3. We'll put that over here. Fatigue number equal 3. And he is -1 to everything. And he fatigues quicker. He also has a fatigue sitting on him, but we'll keep track of that on his bar. Okay. So after 5 minutes and we hear silence in the room, what the hell are we going to do with these guys? So presumably the answer is going to be, I mean, they're going to rise up again. They look, is that other suit of armor, is that going to reform? And they just don't know, right? And I mean, I can give Ren maybe a skill, right? She doesn't know. She just doesn't know. She doesn't have this rune. Not that rune knowledge, rune lore sort of gives you generic, you know, the ability. It's the Arcana check in D&D in the sense that it's general magic knowledge and the ability to intuit things based on what you already know. She doesn't know. She just doesn't know. But they do know that they need to at least be, I mean, they want to search this room. They absolutely want to search this room. Because, I mean, that wardrobe, that there's a chest at the end of the bed, which I actually did not draw, which is unfortunate because I should have. Object, there's a chest there. Disable grid snapping. Right, it's a big old footlocker there. Which I did not put that down there. But the desk, this wardrobe, and this chest are all things I think they would definitely want to, they would assume, have something to do with the mage and his, maybe his notes, maybe his items, maybe something, right? I don't think he's, I mean, I'm going to give it a tiniest chance that the rod might be in here. Although we do know how he got himself into trouble. He got himself into trouble by trying to zap himself beyond even the 4th circle. He was probably using the rod. Now, the characters don't know this, but we do as authors and viewers. So the rod's probably not here. It's probably got to be an upper floor, either wherever his body fell to, or it's up on the roof or whatever. So we've got a little bit of a ways to go. I think they regroup. And I think, so I think they switch places. And Ren is going to cast some spells here. So the first spell she is going to cast is the spear, because that's the important one to get out the door. And I'm going to do that because we might need to keep track of rounds again, sort of where we're at. So Ren is going to cast Spear first. She's 2 up on any spell casting, and so she succeeds by 4. So that gives her 6 rounds of Spear. The next round she will cast the Shield, which theoretically she only has 5 rounds of Spear left. But she blows it, and she blows it by 4, which is 2 levels or 6 hit points. She will take the 6 hit points and try one more time. And she'll succeed. She'll succeed by 2. So she's going to have this shield for 6 rounds. The spear for 4. And she will take the level. She will take the level. So she'll go -1 here. So she is now 11 of 12 on her magic skill. And then once she is done and ready, I think they'll go in again. Martin will have 2 chill potions ready in each hand. Tiny, of course, is ready. The group is ready. And they're going to bust through. And what is Rorik's? Rorik's half move is 8, or his half move is 4. So I actually don't think they're going to. So we're going to go like that. And they'll throw the door open. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they will both descend. So we get 1 round, right? We're going to jump in 1 round. This is when they're going to, the round they're reanimating, essentially. So we're going to get 1 round first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys will go in and charge and attack. Well, not charge, but take their half moves and attack. Ren goes in 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And 3, 4. I mean, she's going to go right to there, and she's going to face like that. That's okay. If it attacks her, that's fine. She cannot attack this round. Martin's going to end up going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's going to nestle in and face up there and sort of keep them abreast of that situation. Their surprise round, they get 2 attacks. Rorik gets 1. Tiny gets 1. Rorik will go first. -1, but his skill is at least a 12. 11 attack, so his attack is 11. They have a defense of 9. Rorik is going to hit this guy. Rorik hits for 9 damage. We subtract 4. He takes 5 damage. Rorik takes a d4 damage because anytime you hit them with a metal weapon, which Rorik's is counted as, you take 1d4 penetrating damage, so it wears you away. Little shocks, effectively. Tiny goes, and he smashes it with his cudgel, and he hits it. He does 13 damage. 13 minus the 4 is 9, and that knocks him down to 2. So they smash this thing reasonably hard before it becomes perfectly alive and ready to go again. And then we roll initiative. So Rorik is a +2, Martin is a +1, Tiny and Ren, and then the armors. Roll 8d12. Rorik is a 10, Martin is a 13, Tiny is a 12, Ren is a 0. Ugh, she is like, what is going on here? This guy is a -1. We have an 8. We have a 3. And we have a 10. That's a fascinating spread of... So Martin is first. I mean, Martin's going to hold his action. He's definitely going to wait until armor 3 goes, but he will put himself at 11 momentarily. Tiny's going to go first. He's going to try to smash this thing. He gets a -10. He takes a gear check. I don't think he re-rolls that at this point in time. So he just totally misses. We're at Martin again. Martin waits for armor 3. Armor 3 is going to go 1-2. He's going to attack Ren. Ren currently has a defense. So she just walked in there. So she has 3 and 5. Ren currently has a defense of 14 because of her shield. The ice shield is +3. So it's an amazing shield. This thing is down by 4. It goes by 2. It misses. Done. But she's down to her. She's got an attack on her. Martin is going to go 1-2. He is going to throw at armor 3. It's an 11-7. He will hit. This is a 2d6 attack. Does 10. So it makes the armor brittle and start to crack. The armor has to make a toughness save. It is even up with this toughness save, or else it is chilled. It fails. So it takes chill. Chill means that it does -2 damage. That's pretty good, actually. Martin is done. Rorik is going to try to destroy this last piece of armor. He does hit this piece of armor. He is going to do some damage here. He does 13. That's enough to kill armor 4. That does destroy armor 4. Rorik is going to take another d4 damage because he struck it with metal. He takes 1 more point. Every time he gives out a little grunt as he smashes that thing. Armor 5 comes off the wall finally. 1, 2, 3, 4. Armor 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ren is going to turn because they have cleared out the armors. The other one down here, she's going to turn this up this way. She's going to stab at the one there. This is not a metal weapon. It is ice. She totally misses. She's going to let that slide. This is round, what, I think 3 now? And Tiny is first. He's going to slide over 2, take a shot. He's going to hit. He does 10 damage, which turns into 6 damage. That is enough to destroy the armor. So armor 5 is going to be able to make it to engage Rorik and Ren and Martin, etc. So, like, where I was thinking, well, maybe we just run for the other door and just try to get out of dodge again, let these guys reset, and we will exploit the fact that they are programmed, you know, to be up and about when an intruder's in here. But because this guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4, he's then on top of these guys and he's engaged them. And what that means is that he'll get a free attack. So even if we could make it through the door, we would have to then suffer potentially a free attack. Now, don't get me wrong. Ren is the perfect person to take this free attack with her defense. But I don't know. So Martin's going to go 1, 2, 3 and turn. And he will save his half phase. He still has an ice in his other hand, so he'll transfer hands and so on. Rorik is going to turn. And he is going to save. Both of his actions, effectively. Armor 5 is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Rorik will now attack. So if you're delaying, you actually don't get... So he's going to go here. And now he's a 7. Martin, whenever he uses this, he goes to that initiative. So Rorik is going to attack. Let's clear all of his widgets here. So Rorik takes a shot. He's going to hit. He does 9 damage, which is ultimately 4 damage. Smash. He knocks it down to 12. Rorik takes a d4. This is a terrible attrition game for Rorik. I think he needs to rip a table leg or something off, or just get some big old wooden piece of whatever. And this guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy is getting there, but not quite. Ren. She will stab. Holy crap. She takes a gear check. Jeez. Okay. We'll put an X there, and she just misses again. She is having terrible combat luck, and she has to mark all these down. 2 and 4. That spear only lasts a little bit. I think Tiny comes up. I'm not super thrilled with him coming up to the side like that, but he'll take a shot with his wooden weapon. I think that's gonna... so his defense is... It's 3rd defense. He's got a 7. Tiny is a 12. He's an 11. 11 versus 7 is... There you go. So 4 will... A -4 still hits. Tiny slaps it for 6 points of damage. It's a lot of ones there, Tiny. 6 points of damage turns into 2. Done. And now Martin is up. Martin has a half phase saved. What's he gonna do? God, I would love to not use another ice. He's used an ice. He's used an acid so far. I would love to not use another ice. Maybe I can bargain with Yngvalda to get sort of some kind of discount on materials. I think Martin steps up and throws here at armor 5 to try to finish him. He is going to hit armor 5. This is a 2d6 attack. We do 5 points only. The armor has to roll. He fails. He is chilled. So we do 5 points. We take a chill. It's going to be -2 damage. He is going to attack. He has 3 possible attacks. So it's largely 1, 2, 3. In order, Rorik, Ren, Tiny. He attacks Tiny. He might hit Tiny. His attack is... I think he does hit Tiny because of the impairment. Tiny has a 13, which is a 12, so his parry is 12. He now has an 11. This thing is a 10 versus 11. He's going to miss with a -1. I'm going to use Tiny's fatigue, though, and I'm going to let the guy re-roll. -10, he misses. Rurik takes a shot. -9 is going to give Rurik a gear check. He has 3. We're going to make Rurik roll on that hammer, his war mace effectively, which is a durability of +1. A 1 or 2 is going to be a problem. A 2. So the electricity slams through the head of this mace and shatters the haft of the mace. So Rurik is maceless. Destroyed. Gear checks go away. Yay. I mean, that sucked. It's like I said, the continuous electricity pounding through there. The handle might be smoking, almost heating up, and then ultimately shatters. Armor 1 comes down. He can attack Tiny. I think he's going to attack Tiny. He makes a shot at Tiny. He misses Tiny. And Ren gets to go, and then she's going to mark 1 off of each of these. Ren's going to attack the dude in front of her. She will hit him. Finally. Ren's spear is 7 damage. Doesn't pierce. It hits location 6. We take 4 off of that. It does 3 damage, unfortunately, which just knocks this thing down to 2. That's the problem with these things. They are so nasty. And we're at the top of the round again. And Tiny's going to try to finish off the guy that's here. He has a 11 tonight. He's going to miss. We mark another ice off of our guy here because we've used 2 of those so far. I mean, I think we're going to use our last one. We're going to pull it. And we're going to toss it at armor 1 to try to chill him. And we hit. 5 points of damage, which goes straight through. This dude has to save. He does save, does not take the chill, which sort of sucks. Armor 5 is going to go. He's going to attack Tiny again. He has a 10. He's going to miss Tiny. Rurik. Oh, he has nothing. He's going to disengage. Ren can take up the slack, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. Armor 1 misses Tiny. Ren is going to hopefully finish this guy, and she does indeed finish armor 5. Chilled. Done. He is dead. She has to now maintain her spells. What does she have here? So she's got 2 spells up. So how does maintenance work? So when your spells hit, so we take the shortest spell that we have, which both are the same length of time, and we take all the spells that are in rounds and all the spells that are not in rounds as far as their durations go, and those are done separately. Those are maintained separately. So she has DL10. We actually have it. So the spear will be a DL5 to maintain, but she also must maintain the shield with it. And that is -2 off of that. So 5, and that is 3. So it's a DL8 to maintain both of her spells. So it's halved and then half -2 for every additional spell. And you take the worst spell gets halved, and so her DL to maintain these spells is, or actually, I don't think that's true. That is wrong. That is patently wrong. Let me real quick grab the damn maintenance. That smells wrong. Maintaining spells, 2 less. So it's 8. There you go. And half. So 8 to maintain the spear. 4 to also maintain the shield. So it is 12 to maintain both spells. There you go. She has an 11. She is down by 1. So she's going to roll it. There's no reason not to roll it. 10. Fine. So she's going to succeed by 9. That means she gets to maintain both spells. They are both reset to their durations. Or they're really reset to the shortest duration. But since they're the same, there you go. So she gets them both back with no cost. Were she to have failed that roll, all she has to do is she either can drop the spells or drop one of the spells if it would bring the DL in line so that she could succeed, or just decide to lose the levels and she could maintain the spell. So for instance, if she even blew that, let's say she rolled a -11 and blows both of those, she can just say, well, I'm going to lose the 3 levels. And that drops her by 3 levels, but she gets to keep the spells. So maintenance, you never have to drop the spell until you run out of spell levels. So she could keep these potentially indefinitely if she's willing to make the roll every 6 rounds and lose 1 to 3 and potentially 0 to 3 levels every 6 rounds is sort of how she does that. And so she actually has a lot of flexibility in how long she keeps this spell up. But she has to be willing to you know, she potentially is losing levels as she goes. Tiny is going to hit this guy, and we will go through just one more sort of. So Tiny is going to miss. I don't think Martin is going to. He threw his last ice. I think that's it. He'll draw his short sword and move around. Rorik is going to take this damn chair, pick it up. Armor 1 is going to attack. It's 3 possible targets here. And I think we're almost done. It's going to attack Tiny again, because god damn it, why wouldn't it? And it's going to hit Tiny. Of course it does. Gosh. It hits him for 2 damage in the 3. That's the best possible outcome. I'll let Ren stab him. Oh, come on, Ren. She hits. That's good. Good for her. She hits with the spear. 6 damage, which ultimately becomes 2 damage, and so on. So I'm not going to watch us, the party, grind this guy down. We're going to, you know, as a GM, I would go, the combat is over now, effectively, and it really just comes down to, can he do ancillary damage to you? And I'm not a big fan of that. I will make everyone roll, since I did not keep good checks. I'm going to make everybody roll a fatigue. 4d12. And we're going to go Rorik, Martin, Tiny, Ren. Rorik and Martin both take 1. So Rorik gets a fatigue. And Martin takes a fatigue. Tiny and Ren do not take fatigues. So they beat that last piece of armor down and destroy it, and the combat is over. So that one was way different for than the tests I ran, primarily because A, I was luckier, B, I did downgrade them somewhat. So, you know, I mean, we'll take that for what it's worth. And was that super dangerous? I mean, fighting the 2 combats instead of all 5 in one big combat, I think worked out. The fact that they could get here, which is the first time that I could actually get out the door without one of the party members getting prone, stunned, dazed, killed outright, was a godsend, because that let us kill essentially one dude for free almost. And then this battle, the second sort of fight, was way easier. We did use a lot of resources. We have literally used all of our ice vials. We only have 2 acids left. And that's bad. That is not great for our guy here. But so be it. That is how we roll. So we have 2 of these left. Yeah, we have 2 left. That is 0.4. And we used a heal to give, what's his name, a heal. Rurik has taken some damage. Let's mark that real quick. He does have 8 minor injury. He can shake off. So that is true. I'll let him. I'm going to let him shake. Now, Ren cannot shake off. That damage goes directly. Rurik is the only one that actually can shake off, and he can shake off his extra 4 points that he took here. His toughness is 14. He rolls a D8 to shake. 1D8. He gets 1 point back. Son of a gun. So unfortunately, that brings him to 11 minor damage. Unless we want to do medical. I suppose we do. So Martin will roll medical. He fails. Done. And that's it. So that's wow. Wow, that's bad. The worst possible roll we could roll. That's our 5th charge on that. He's like, oh, I'm running out of thread. He's like, Rorik's like, I can't see why. I mean, his hand is like, his arm or whatever is covered in thread as he's accidentally sort of wrapped him up. He has 11 minor. That damage is going to keep for now. Tiny is still wounded, and Ren cannot repair that damage. That is damage, self-inflicted spell damage. She took what, 6, I believe? I think it's 6. 6 injury. 6. Done. So that is the state of the party. Rurik is down to 28. Tiny is still winded and impaired. Ren has taken damage from failure to cast spells. The animated armor is vanquished. That was quite a lesson for me as a, GM and designing monsters and so on. And not terrible. I did not think that was too bad. I thought it was a little grindy, but I was so worried about it being even worse. I did reduce their hit points down from 20 to 16 for that very reason. Anything that's automata, many undead, do have that problem in the game. One of their special powers is simply, you don't wound this guy typically. And that's great until you have to actually practically do that fight. And then you're like, this is taking forever, kind of thing. And that was okay. That wasn't the worst. So I'm pretty happy with how that went. We will get back to it next episode. We will search this place. Their resolve, I think, is has not wavered yet, but it's starting to waver a little bit because a lot of damage done was Martin doing the damage and the chills and so on. I think that's not going to be forthcoming here in the next fight. And Rourke is out a weapon. I do think he'll get a table leg out of it, and that'll be like Tiny's table leg, but sort of crappy, right? Tiny's at least is a cudgel. It actually has, it's been carved for him. I don't know. I mean, or maybe it hasn't. Maybe it is literally a table leg, and we'll just go with that. But anyway, we will get to that all next episode. Thank you for listening and watching. Cannot state. Please comment, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and do all the YouTube things for the YouTube machine. And I will see you next episode. Thank you very much.